welcome to my video. Today, I'm going to be talking about episode 14 of season 17 of Deadliest Catch. And in this episode, the Cornelia Marie, the Summer Bay Wizard, and the Northwestern will be in this episode. And this episode is basically the boats battling the ice pack takes over the north grounds of the Bering Sea. Pretty much most of the fleet is up by the ice pack, and the crab fishermen have been fighting the ice pack the past 2 episodes. It shows all the captains talking about them having to get their gear out of the ice pack area, because if not, the ice is going to make it very hard for them to maneuver in the ice flow and also find their pots. And each pot is about $1,500. So you add that up, have 150 to 200 plus pots. That is hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gear, and you don't want to lose that because that really affects your bottom line. The episode starts out with the Cornelia Marie, and they're the closest boat to the ice pack, and they're about 30-40 miles away from it as of right now, and later on in the episode they're gonna have to rush to get their gear out because the ice pack's moving about 15 miles a day. It starts out with the Cornelia Marie hauling in their gear. Their first pot comes in with like 540 opelio crab, and then the next one they show it has 680 opelio crab in it, and then another one has 560 opelio crab. So their gear is ranging anywhere from the mid 500s to high 600s. The farther north the string goes, the better the fishing becomes. So Casey and Josh decide to move all 200 pots farther north, closer to the ice pack, because the crab counts are way better. While they're doing that, the weather is just sloppy, and some waves have come over the starboard rail and have just kind of smashed. One big wave comes through, and Taylor's hooking up a pot towards the wheelhouse of the Cornelia Marie, and all of a sudden a big wave comes, and about 85,000 gallons of water just comes over the rail and smashes into Taylor, and it sends Taylor across the deck, and in the process of that, Taylor twists his ankle. He comes in, and Casey goes down to check on him. He's like, yeah, it's slightly twisted, so he's like, just kind of stay in here and relax and let it heal for now. Taylor, he's a big part of the operation because he's the engineer on the Cornelia Marie. Then it goes to the Northwestern. The Northwestern is in Dutch Harbor. They're getting their crane repaired. They have finally gotten the crane all hooked up, and they fire up the engine for the crane. Something with the hydraulic oil in the engine room just pops off and starts spewing hydraulic oil all over the engine room, which is not good. There's another problem that has plagued the Northwestern. Sig's like, let's just wait until tomorrow. We'll get it fixed, and then we'll test it, and we'll go out and go save our gear from the ice pack, which Harley saved in last week's episode. Then it goes to the Wizard, and Monty is hauling in his gear, and he's getting pretty good numbers, and he's up in the north part of the Bering Sea. He gets a call from somebody and learns that he's going to need to stack his gear, move it away from the ice pack because it's going to start coming in pretty fast. So he has to move 200 plus pots out of there. Then it goes back to the Cornelia Marie, and the Cornelia Marie is still sending their gear farther on the northern grounds. And then it goes to the Southern Wind, and the Southern Wind is going through their gear. They are doing pretty well. They're getting a couple hundred opelio crab per pot, which is really good. So then Harley's happy about that. And then it goes back to the Northwestern. The hydraulic thing that popped off, the hydraulics in the engine room, they get that fixed, and then they test the crane. Everything's working good, and then Sig's like, let's cast our lines and let's go crab fishing. Try and salvage what our season is. And he's like, we're basically starting from scratch because we don't really know where the good crab is as of right now. Then it goes to the Wizard, and the Wizard, they've got all their gear on, and they're moving it farther down south to get out of the ice pack range and keep their pots safe. He gets a call from Keith that tells him that there's going to be a big icing storm that's going to come through. That's going to lead to the boat being packed on with ice. Monty's going to try and go as far as he can, I think is going to move the gear like 140, 150 miles away from the ice pack, set his gear there, and then he'll head into Dutch Harbor for an offload. He's about 50 miles away from where he wants to set his gear, and the pots are just packed with ice on board. So Monty tells the crew, we gotta get these pots off of our deck because it's really gonna affect our stability if we don't. He also said a lot of boats have gone down that have been over-iced, and that's what has caused these boats to sink. Then it goes to the Northwestern, and the Northwestern is just getting to their gear that Harley moved for him, and he's hauling in the gear, and it's doing okay, and Sig's like, that's fine, because we're just starting over and figuring out where we need to go and where the crab is. They're stacking on their gear so they can go find better producing crab grounds. Then it goes to the Cornelian Reef. The gear's been doing extremely well up in the north, but the ice pack is going to come and take his gear out if he doesn't load up his pots. So going through the gear, and his deck boss running across the deck, and the deck is somewhat icy. He falls down and really hurts his knee. He goes in and goes up to the wheelhouse to talk with Josh and Casey, and he's like, my knee is not doing good. So Casey checks it out, and there's like a big fluid bubble on his knee. Casey's like, just go lay down in your bunk and raise your leg up. He goes down and does that, and the crew is going through their gear to move all the 204 pots down south. Casey and Josh are like, this isn't good. Our leaders on our boat are injured right now. Then it goes to the Southern Wind, and he gets a call from another crab boat captain that he's buddies with, and his buddy went up to see how far the ice pack is from where they are. It's about 30 miles away from what it is, so they're gonna need to stack their gear and move it away from the ice pack, because if they don't, their gear will be swallowed up and it'll be really hard to find. The crew is not all happy about that. Then it goes back to the Cornelian Reef. The Cornelian Reef is still moving their gear. Then it shows the Wizard back in Dutch Harbor. They are just finishing off an offload. They're gonna go back out and see how their emergency set did 50 miles away from where Monty wanted to set his gear. Monty's like, our next offload will be in St. Paul. Then it goes to the Southern Wind, and they're still loading on their gear up north and getting ready to head down south. And then it goes back to the Northwestern, and the Northwestern is still hauling in their gear. Sid calls Harley, and he's like, thank you so much for moving our pots and keeping them out of the ice pack's range. Sid's like, we owe you big time. If you need anything, we'll help you with whatever you need. Then it goes to the Cornelian Reef, and the Cornelian Reef is still hauling in their gear, and Josh gets a call from his deck boss who injured his knee, and he's like, the situation is not good. In the next episode, we'll see what happens, see if they have to go back into town or if they have to have emergency evacuation. That is how episode 14 of season 17 ends. Stay tuned for my next episode review of episode 15 of season 17 of Deadliest Catch, and that video will be out in the next couple weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit the bell icon down below so I can be notified when I upload videos. Also, please share this video with your friends and family, and don't forget to smash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching, and if you ain't dreaming, you ain't living. Don't forget to dream big.